In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a project that has graphics. Now, graphics are for the Sinclair Spectrum only, but you can make a game that has graphics and it will export to other platforms. It just won't have the graphics. Now, I admit this might be a little rough. I had not designed Lantern to ever really have graphics, and these were kind of bolted on later. So for the name of my project here, I'll call it like graphics demo or something. Graphics demo, and there's my welcome message. And I guess I could have a title screen if I wanted to. I'll skip that. Evan Wright, graphics demo. There we go. No, wait. I'll just call it like, I don't know, GRFX. Sure. Okay, great. Now, down here, you probably want to uncheck this show score on the status line, because the status line is probably going to mess up the graphics a little bit. So then the next thing to do is kind of gather up the resources for your project. So if we go over here to image resources, this tab up here, let's check enable graphics. That's already checked, I guess. I must have been playing around with this. And now we're going to add our images to our projects. So if you're wondering how do I associate an image with a room or a location, once you've enabled graphics, you can come down here and select the this drop down menu will appear, and you can select the image that goes with that location. So let's go to let's actually talk about how the graphics work, or what the graphics format is. So the graphics have to be SCR files. That is a binary, or a format is basically a screen file that contains the pixel data followed by the color attribute data. So a screen file, an SCR file, has to be a full screen of data. However, you don't have to have a full screen of data. Lantern will kind of mangle this for you and compress it, so you can have a third of the screen, 2/3 of the screen, or an entire screen. So to make the SCR files, what I've done just for these test programs is I've opened up some images, using Paint, or you could use GIMP for this too. Probably a better choice, actually. And then opening those up in ZX Paintbrush, and then saving those out as SCR files. Now, if you have an image that, like, let's say you want something to be just 2/3 of the screen or a third of the screen, let's open up our dirt road here. So here's an image that's going to be 2/3 of the screen. So notice that the bottom third of the image is just blank. So you can have the top third. You basically can have the top third, the top 2/3, or the entire screen. So if your image only wants to be 2/3 of the screen because you want text on the bottom, then just make your image 256 by 128 instead of 192. So basically, you're going to have to make a full screen of data. It's just that, like, the bottom part might be blank if you're, for your rooms. Your rooms are you probably want your rooms to look like this, 2/3 of the screen tall, so you can have text on the bottom. And then I've just saved this out, brought it into ZX Paintbrush, and then saved it out as an SCR file. Okay, so now let's go back to Lantern and build our resources. So I'll go to image resources here, and I'm going to say add a new image resource. Oh, actually, I'll call it like dirt road, because that's kind of where our game starts. So let's say we have an image for a dirt road, and I'll click create, and there's my dirt road, and I'll say that I want this to be 128 tall. That's 2/3 of the screen. And now I'm going to go select the SCR file for this location. So let's go into the SCR file here. Documents, where did I save all this stuff? Spectrum, and so let's have, I thought I had a road. Ugh, nuts. Hang on. Okay, so here I've opened up my dirt road picture, my bitmap, into ZX Paintbrush, and I'm going to click OK and save that as an SCR file. SCR, it's in here somewhere. There we go. Save. Okay. Now let's go back to Lantern. And there's my dirt road. So I'll select the dirt road SCR file. And now, if I go to my room here, I'll select room 1. I'll call this like dirt road. And for the image resource, I'll select dirt road. Oops, dirt road. There we go. All right. Now, let me save this project. It's griping at me because I didn't give it a name. I have to do save as. Save as. All right, and I'll call this. Let me move this over to where my lantern is running right here. Lantern. Oh God. So now I'm browsing out to wherever I've my lantern executable is, and I'll save my project there, and I'll call it grfx demo, and save it. Okay, and now let me export it for the Spectrum, and let's see what happens. So that took a few seconds to do, and now it exported the game to my Lantern, wherever I have Lantern, graphics demos _ Spectrum. So let's go open that up with Spectaculator and see what it looks like. So let me go to File, or come on. Let's go Spectrum. No, there's so many directories. Lantern. This is happening to me because I'm running Lantern in Visual Studio, which is the package I developed it with. So you would not have to do any of this browsing. And then it was grfx demo. Let's go find. Oh, there it is. Graphics demo Spectrum. Okay, is there a tape file in there? Oh, look, grfx. Cool. Let's open that up. Oh, look at that. So along the top, that it doesn't look so great, does it? Maybe I got to fix that. So that is the status bar right there. Yeah, we ought to get rid of that. Okay. And now if I type look, it'll north, east. All right, look. So now if I type look, it'll bring up the it'll bring up that image. Okay, so that's how you wire up your graphics resources to a particular location. I think if we go back to our welcome thing here, under the Spectrum, somehow show score. There was a way to turn off the nuts. I thought there was a way to turn off or to completely hide the status bar along the top. Well, that's going to drive me crazy because I know that I had an option in here for hiding the status bar. That's annoying. All right. Well, it's been a while since I've looked at this. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do though is, let's say you've got like a something in your game that you can examine, and rather than just having a text description, you want the game to display an image of the thing that you're looking at. So let's go ahead, we'll take a look at how to do that. Let's go back to image resources here, and I'm going to make one called map image, and click create, and I'll make this a full screen image. There we go. So it'll be 192 pixels tall, and then let me go pick a file for that image or map. There we go. Okay. Now let's go back to our code here. So now we're going to actually have to write a little bit of code in order to test this out. Let me go to my functions tab here, and I'm going to make a function called examine map. Examine _ map. Click add. Okay, there we go. So here's our examine map function. Now there's a function down here listed at the bottom, show image. Show image. So when we examine the map, let's display the map, that map picture. And what was that thing called? It was map image like that. So let's just copy it. And I'm going to save this just to be safe. And now let's go to sentences here. So sentences are where we wire up a set of words the player types to a function. So we'll say when the verb is examine or look at, and the first object is the, oh, I never added an object for the map. Oh, God, I got to do that. Add an object. I got ahead of myself. I'm just going to call it like map. And I'm going to put it in the player's inventory. And let's make the map portable. Okay. So now let's go back to our sentences and say if the verb is examine and the first object is the map, then we want to call our examine map function instead. We want to override the built-in examine function. I'll click add, and I'll save this. So now when I type examine map, instead of running the default function, it's going to print out that that description. Actually, what we might want to do is also, yeah, here's where it's going to get a little tricky, because like what if we didn't have the image? You would probably want to, yeah, we probably want, not sure how this is going to work. All right, well, let's just test it out. File, save, export for Spectrum. Oh, and of course I'm running in the debugger. Great. Okay, so it finished. Let's go back to Spectaculator. Okay, so I loaded up our tape file again. I'm going to type I for inventory. You are carrying a map. Examine map. Boom. There's the picture of our map. And okay, so notice like our screen is kind of messed up here. All right, so let's go improve that. Close that. Oh, you know, I should have left Spectaculator up. Why did I do that? Arg, Spectaculator. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's work on this a little bit more. And let's make the player have to wait after we show the map. We're going to have to make the player wait for a key, and then we'll call our CLS function, and that'll clear the screen. And then here's where we'll handle the description. Let's say that there's a text description of this map. We're going to say describe the map, and that's going to print out the description of the map. So let's go back to our map. You know, this is an parchment map showing blah 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 blah. All right, so I'm just not going to finish that. I'm just going to basically, you can see how this works. So now let's save this, export it again, and see what happens. Okay, so that finished exporting. So now let's go load that project. Okay, so now if I type examine map and hit enter, you'll see now it's going to pop up the that screen, and it's going to wait for me to hit a key, and then it's actually going to print out the textual description of the map. So I can see that there's going to be a problem here, because if we are on a Commodore 64 or something, this is going to get ignored, and then it's going to do the any key thing. Like somehow we need to have a way of saying if graphics are enabled, show the image. Otherwise, then otherwise clear the otherwise just print the text. So that's obviously something for me to do, as well as going and figuring out like what happened to that option for completely disabling the status bar. I was absolutely positive there was a way to disable the status bar. I just need to go dig it up. All right, but anyway, I think that's enough to at least get you going. So the image resources, you just have to enable graphics here, and then create resources, and then assign them an SCR file, and pick what height they are, and then for your rooms, any room that's going to have a location, or any that's going to have an image. You just need to select that image resource. Now, um, there is no way presently to change the image resource for a room. So if the if a room changes the way it looks, then I don't know how to. I don't think there's a way currently to do that. But if you need that, let me know. I will add that. So graphics were kind of a late add to Lantern. And they're still kind of a little clunky and in development, but I'm if people want them, then I'll go improve them. So there you go. I hope that helps you get going. If you need any help on this stuff or need improvements or have suggestions, let me know. I'll be happy to take your feedback and try to make Lantern better.